A fairly new drug's been making its way in our states. It's been causing a lot of drug addicted and homeless users to become zombie like. A new drug called TRANQ. It is a mix between xylazine and fentanyl, which is making it one of the deadliest drugs in the country. Here's a report from DEA. Public safety alert. DEA reports widespread threat of fentanyl mixed with xylazine, or known as the streets as TRANQ. Washington, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration is warning the public of a sharp increase in the trafficking of fentanyl mixed with xylazine. Xylazine, also known as TRANQ, is a powerful sedative that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved for veterinarians, for animals, not for human consumption, as there is a risk of it causing scaling and rotting flesh on your body from using it, guys. Very, very deadly. Xylazine is making the deadliest drug threat in our country has ever faced. Fentanyl even deadlier, said Administrator Milgram. DEA has seized xylazine and fentanyl mixtures in 48 of 50 states. The DEA Laboratory System is reporting that in 2022, approximately 23% of fentanyl powder and 7% of fentanyl pills seized by the DEA contain xylazine. So they are mixing it with the pills that they're passing out. That goes from anything hydrocodone, Xanax, Percocets, everything. All these drugs they're using as downers, they're including this stuff in it in some sort of concoction to make it even more powerful and potent and more addicting to more than likely kill you or cause you to be lifelong addicted. Xylazine and fentanyl drug mixtures place users at a high risk of suffering a fatal drug poisoning. Because xylazine is not an opioid, naloxone, Narcan, does not reverse its effects. Still, experts always recommend administering naloxone. If someone might be suffering a drug poisoning, people who inject drug mixtures containing xylazine also can develop severe wounds, including necrosis, the rotting of human tissue that may lead to amputation. So the spots where you're injecting this drug, TRANQ, becomes infected and therefore becomes rotting human tissue. Thus, the term zombie drug TRANQ. Not only does it leave you defenseless and passed out on the floor from your high, the wounds that it leaves is causing necrosis, literally turning you to an actual homeless zombie. According to the CDC, 107,000 Americans died between August 2021 and August 2022 from drug poisonings, with 66% of those deaths involving synthetic opioids like fentanyl. The Sinaloa cartel and Jalisco cartel in Mexico, using chemicals largely sourced from China, are primarily responsible for the vast majority of the fentanyl that is being trafficked in the communities across the United States. FDA recently communicated to healthcare providers about the risk to patients exposed to xylazine and illicit drugs. A copy of that communication can be found here at FDA Healthcare Professional Risk of Patients Exposed to Xylazine and Illicit Drugs. Guys, there's a bunch of videos out there of these people literally zoinked out, passed out on the ground. But unlike normal homeless activity, they are becoming necrosis, rotting flesh, scaling, very, very sickening. In some cases, having to get in their body parts amputated, cut off, guys. This is a very, very toxic and dangerous drug that really needs police intervention to clean this up out of the streets, involuntary capture, put in some sort of rehab, forced care. Why would that not be an idea that these people should be considering? Maybe because they're homeless. They don't really care about the homeless. They don't care about their veterans. They don't care that you're level. They don't give a dang, guys. Viewer discretion advised. Philadelphia.
So it's Kensington and Allegheny. This is the first stop. They come off the train, come right down here, and it's like a legal pass to do whatever you want. Any type of drug you want, any vice
man
you
in his
have.
underwear.
come here to do it. You're not gonna get in trouble. You know, that's
Wow.
basically what's put out there by law enforcement, by city officials. You see the chaos that's going around. You're gonna see people, blood running down their arm, needles in their neck, needle in their arm, pipe in their mouth. Everything goes
sad.
out here.
Ground zero of our local heroin epidemic lies in the heart of Philadelphia's Kensington section.
Kensington. The drugs were the motive for a shooting in Kensington this morning.
There, drug users from all over line the streets in makeshift
over the
tents.
area in Kensington, out this haven for drug addicts.
Hooked on heroin in Kensington.
Dubbed ground zero for Philadelphia's heroin epidemic.
Park is on the front lines of the nation's heroin epidemic, with evidence of battles lost scattered like weeds.
Horrendous.
Drug raid nets big
Horrendous,
results
guys.
in Kensington, along
Residents
with
struggling with drug addiction may soon have a place to safely inject themselves.
Open-air
with
drug
drugs.
abuse in Kensington is just not hard to
Philadelphia's
find.
opioid crisis is far from over.
Crisis in Kensington. Wow.
It's sad. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow, that man was smoking meth or crack out of it. Looks to be maybe they passed that out to them for safe crack pipes or something, guys. That's crazy.
Yo, get out the street, man. Come on. Yo. Look. You see where you at? So that's a normal occurrence. People get high, wander into traffic. It's 100% getting worse. And it's gonna get worse tomorrow, and the next day is gonna be even worse, and the next day is gonna be even worse. We're trying to combat opiates. We're not dealing with opiates no more. That game is done. You know, that ship has gone and sailed. You're literally dealing with chemical warfare. You know, that's what's happening. You see the people falling apart, limbs falling off. You seen Duffy when we was down there. His arm, it looked.
Oh God. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh man, that looks like CGI or some sort of Hollywood production. He looks like he just came off the set. What the heck?
It's like a zombie movie. You know, that's what you're seeing with the Xylazine. And the TRANQ is everybody laying face down on the ground.
Oh, man.
That's what the TRANQ is. Xylazine is a tranquilizer. It's meant for cattle, for horses. It's not meant for human consumption. So when people shoot it up, you see the sores, it starts and it's just looking for the easiest way out of the body, and it presents itself in the sores. The TRANQ is, we're not seeing those same ulcers and skin abrasions, but what you're seeing is the quick overdoses. So when people are being dosed with Narcan to being helped from an overdose, the Narcan does nothing to affect the TRANQ. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. You know, this is literally chemical warfare. And we realize that once we start playing around with these chemicals, we're gonna lose.
Wow, that's absolutely horrific and saddening that some of those people are someone's family members, father and mother, son, daughter, and they're out on the streets just laid out, zoinked out from a drug that's causing their actual body to look rotting zombie-like, putting themselves in positions to be taken advantage of physically and whatever they have in their pockets. They could be attacked by a wild animal, bitten. Oh, it's so horrible that our people in our country are being just left behind and forgotten and allowed to live lives like this until they eventually succumb to their sickness. Because addiction is a sickness. It's not something that you should be taking lightly, guys. If you know someone that is addicted, you have to try your best to reach out to them and get through to them. If that don't work, then that's their life. I mean, you tried, you know. All you can do is wait for them just to pass on, you know. Even with the Narcan, the reversals don't even work for that because the drug, it's not even something. Let's see, the DEA report, let's go back to this. See right here on the DEA report that says Xylazine and fentanyl drug mixtures place users at a higher risk of suffering a fatal drug poisoning because xylazine is not an opioid. Wow, that's why Narcan does not work. It will not reverse the effects of xylazine because it's not an opioid. Wow, so they have that everywhere for these people to not die from an overdose, and yet they're taking this drug now. They don't even know if it's in the drug, or they're mixing it with all kinds of other stuff now, guys. So not even Narcan will help you reverse life-threatening, overdoses. That's so horrific and demonic and horrible that something like this is being created and made and distributed just for capital gains, just to make a quick buck. Wow. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my videos. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.